That person you need to become understands that physical health and mental health are connected. They decided to be that person. They decided to be the person who shows up when nobody's watching. They decided to be the person who keeps going when everyone else quits. They decided to be the person who takes responsibility instead of making excuses. Most people spend their whole life waiting for someone else to be that person for them. They wait for their boss to give them the promotion. They wait for their spouse to make them happy. They wait for their kids to make them proud. They wait for the government to solve their problems. They wait for God to drop a miracle from the sky. And while they're waiting, life is passing them by. While they're waiting, that person they could have been is dying inside them. But not you. Today you make a different choice. Today you decide to be that person. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when the timing is perfect. Today. Right now. In this moment. Because the perfect time never comes. The perfect time is a lie that weak people tell themselves to justify staying weak. Be that person who gets up at 5 in the morning when your bed is calling your name. Be that person who goes to the gym when your body is tired and your mind is making excuses. Be that person who studies when your friends are partying. Be that person who saves money when everyone else is spending. Be that person who takes the hard road when the easy road is right there waiting for you. You think successful people are different from you? You think they have some special gift that you don't have? That's garbage. The only difference is they decided to be that person before they felt ready. They decided to be that person before they knew how. They decided to be that person when everyone around them said they couldn't do it. Look around you. Look at your family. Look at your friends. Look at your coworkers. How many of them are living the life they really want? How many of them wake up excited about their day? How many of them are proud of who they see in the mirror? Not many. And you know why? Because they're waiting for someone else to be that person for them. Your dad didn't show up? Be that person. Your mom didn't believe in you? Be that person. Your teacher said you weren't smart enough. Be that person. Your boss passed you over for the promotion? Be that person. Your girlfriend left you? Be that person. Your friends don't support your dreams? Be that person. Every excuse you make is a choice to stay small. Every time you blame someone else for your problems, you give away your power. Every time you say you can't do something because of what happened to you in the past, you become a victim of circumstances instead of the creator of your destiny. The world is full of victims. The world is full of people who had hard childhoods and difficult circumstances and unfair situations. But the world is not full of people who decided to be that person anyway. The world is not full of people who said, "My circumstances don't define me. My choices do." Be that person who takes full ownership of your life. Not partial ownership. Not ownership when things are going well. Full ownership. When you mess up, you own it. When you fail, you own it. When you succeed, you own it. When life hits you with something you didn't expect, You own how you respond to it. Nobody owes you anything. Your parents don't owe you a perfect childhood. Your employer doesn't owe you a promotion. Your spouse doesn't owe you happiness. The government doesn't owe you success. Life doesn't owe you anything. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you can stop waiting and start creating. Be that person who does the work when nobody's watching. The champion is made in the dark. The champion is made in those moments when you're alone and tired, and nobody would know if you quit. That's when champions are born. Not on the stage. Not when the cameras are rolling. Not when everyone is cheering. In the dark. In the grind. In the moments that don't count for anything, except everything. You want to know the secret to success? It's simple. Be that person every single day. Not just when you feel motivated. Not just when things are going well. Every single day. When you're sad, be that person. When you're angry, be that person. When you're confused, be that person. When you're scared, be that person. Most people are motivated by feelings. When they feel good, they work hard. When they feel bad, they make excuses. But that person you need to become doesn't live by feelings. That person lives by commitment. That person lives by standards. That person does what needs to be done regardless of how they feel about it. Be that person who keeps their word to themselves. If you say you're going to wake up at 6, wake up at 6. If you say you're going to work out 3 times this week, work out 3 times this week. If you say you're going to stop eating junk food, stop eating junk food. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you lose respect for yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build confidence in yourself. The relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship you will ever have. And that relationship is built on trust. Can you trust yourself to do what you say you're going to do? Can you trust yourself to show up when things get difficult? Can you trust yourself to keep going when everyone else quits? Be that person who invests in themselves. Read books when other people are watching TV. Take courses when other people are complaining about their jobs. Go to seminars when other people are sleeping in on weekends. Learn skills when other people are scrolling through social media. Your mind is either growing or dying. There's no middle ground. Most people stop learning when they finish school. They think education is something that happens to them for 18 years and then it's over. But that person you need to become understands that education never stops. That person reads books every week. That person listens to podcasts while driving. That person watches videos that teach them something new. That person understands that knowledge is power, but only when you apply it. Be that person who faces their fears instead of running from them. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is information. Fear tells you what you need to work on. Fear shows you where you need to grow. But most people let fear control their decisions. They don't start the business because they're afraid of failing. They don't ask for the promotion because they're afraid of being rejected. They don't pursue their dreams because they're afraid of what other people will think. That person you need to become feels the fear and does it anyway. That person understands that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action in spite of fear. Every successful person was afraid. The difference is they didn't let that fear stop them from taking action. Be that person who sets boundaries with your time, with your energy, with your attention. You cannot be everything to everyone. You cannot say yes to every opportunity. You cannot help every person who asks for help. You have to protect your time like it's the most valuable thing you own. Because it is. That person you need to become says no to good opportunities, so they can say yes to great opportunities. That person says no to people who drain their energy, so they can say yes to people who inspire them. That person says no to activities that don't align with their goals, so they can say yes to activities that move them forward. Your time is your life. How you spend your time is how you spend your life. If you spend your time doing things that don't matter, you will live a life that doesn't matter. If you spend your time doing things that align with your values and goals, you will live a meaningful life. Be that person who takes care of their body. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life. If you don't take care of it, it won't take care of you. Eat foods that give you energy. Exercise regularly. Get enough sleep. Drink water. These are not complicated things, but most people don't. When your body feels good, your mind works better. When your mind works better, you make better decisions. When you make better decisions, you get better results. Be that person who builds real relationships. Not network contacts, not social media followers. Real relationships. People who know you and support you and challenge you to be better. People who will tell you the truth even when it hurts. People who believe in your dreams even when you don't believe in them yourself. Success is not a solo journey. Every person who has achieved something significant had people who helped them along the way. But you have to be the kind of person that others want to help. You have to add value to other people's lives. You have to be generous with your time and knowledge and resources. Be that person who serves others, not because you have to, not because someone is making you, because you understand that the secret to living a fulfilling life is making other people's lives better. When you serve others, you stop focusing on your own problems. When you help others achieve their dreams, you often discover your own purpose. The most successful people in the world are not the people who are trying to get the most for themselves. They're the people who are trying to give the most to others. They understand that the more value you create for others, the more value comes back to you. Be that person who persists when everyone else quits. Success is not about being the smartest person in the room. Success is not about having the most talent. Success is about outlasting everyone.